Okay, I am supposed to be live. I am debating that. I am live this time. I did a whole spiel again. Whole freaking spiel. Okay. To encapsulate that, I'm not going to go through it again. Trump was at the G7. He left early because of stuff going on in the Middle East. His parade was a washout, not figuratively. He didn't have an ability. So I thought, oh, it was supposed to rain. That was it. The weather it said it was going to rain, heavy rains, and so I thought, oh, he got his out. People didn't go to the parade because of rain or potential rain. So at the G7, he mentioned in front of world cameras that the weatherman had said there was going to be rain, but they were wrong. They're never right. And he was trying to save face. We kind of all been there to varying degrees. And this is still just a human being that no one really likes very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you for reminding me that no one really likes very much and carries the weight of that on him. And many will go, yeah, so, but he's a human being. And I'm telling you that because this is so important to understand the role that they have taken on. And could he have done his role differently? Sure, he could have. But he took on this role. And like any of us, my beliefs come onto planet to experience life in all its fullness and get to choose. It's free will, and get to choose and get to choose and get to choose the direction that you're going in and the lessons that you came here, not the lessons, the experiences you came here to remember who you really are. So that's his struggle. That's been his struggle his whole life. He's not been loved well. And I hear he has been loved, but not been, and he doesn't know what to do with that kind of love. He doesn't. The only love he understands is conditional love, a transactional. That's the word, transactional. He doesn't understand unconditional love at all. The only time he's had that, and then he's had it with his young children when they were babies. He doesn't really know what to do with it. He doesn't have that in his experiences in this life. So think about that, where he came from, a father that didn't love him and a mother that was perhaps a little bit distant. Expectations. A brother that was brilliant and well loved, who didn't want anything to do with the father's business, and then as a result, his father kind of ignored him and gave everything to Donald, and the brother basically drank himself to death. So imagine. So humans do funny things in funny places and spaces, as free will reigns always, as they're figuring out their way. So that's the lesson. And so he is a human in a position of massive power. Massive power. And at this particular moment in time, Netanyahu is also holding a lot of power. And at this position in time, the head guy in Iran as well, but it's not him, it's the very, very conservative religious, I'm hearing clerics, but I don't know if that's the right word, that are behind that. Because they're saying, see, because they had the newly, was he elected or placed there, the president, was like wanting to do things in a different way. And they're saying, no, see, it doesn't work. We can't do it that way. And we have to go back to the old ways. And they're floundering because they don't want their power taken away. So it's all about power. It's all about power. And don't think that it's only about men having power, because a lot of women in power do some things that are less than kind, less than loving as well. I mean, they all have to make hard decisions, but that doesn't mean you can't weigh all the pros and cons and do your very best. So, on that note, there are human beings out there like that, and that are making choices that you don't agree with, that are living lives that you don't agree with, that are addicted that you do not understand, that they're homeless. You don't get why are they home? Why are they still doing drugs? There's help out there. There's so many things that we do not understand. There's even less than that, where you look at people or friends and they do things you don't understand. They're like, what? You're like, what? It can't be like what? Because they're doing the very best they can in the moment they find themselves. So when we know better, we do better. And if you look back on your life, you didn't always do better. You didn't. We do our best. We do our best. So, this moment in time is requiring us to do our best, because you are part of that collective that's supporting this massive change that's unfolding. I mean, that Middle East thing, that's part of it. That massive change. It's just all going to ripple out. And you are part of that. So, all these souls, and this is the first card I'm going to take from the Lessons and Soul Purpose Oracle. And I don't believe it's lessons so much. Maybe it's more remembrances. And maybe it's lessons for remembrance within a certain circumstance. Oh yeah, that's the way. This way, finding your way into more kindness, compassion, and empathy. Doesn't mean you don't have to, doesn't mean there aren't hard choices to make. Doesn't mean that sometimes those, the acts that you do can look unkind to someone not being aware of the full picture, all the details. Remember that. Happens out there with the leaders. It happens in our own daily lives and businesses and our community. Everyone doing the best they can. And how do we support the best? We be the best. I hate to say that. That's anyway, we be the best. We be the best that we can be. How does it get better? What else is possible? And here's the first. So address your addictions. That's a funny one to come up with. Okay, I'm hearing addictions to power. So you see she's hanging onto the ladder, and all these, the water's down there, and the hands are grabbing at her feet. And take these hands, these are all the things that drag us down, right? These are all the things that drag us down. So personally, for me, it could be eating sweets. I'm really gotten a big handle on that. But there are moments when I use it to ground myself. So then you have something, we all have something, right? And it depends how you let it affect you and affect your life, right? So addressing your addictions. That's personally. And then there's addictions to power. And that's what we've been talking about, addictions to power. And that can pull you down. That ladder, look at that ladder she's holding on for her dear life, with all those hands wanting to pull her underwater. So imagine, I can see that. That's Trump. He's hanging on for his dear life, and there's so many people there that want him done and gone, and trying to pull him down. Can you imagine what that feels like? I'm sure you can. He's just another human being playing his part right now. I don't know what the whole part is. You can only guess at it. But he's playing his part just like Obama played his part, just like Biden played his part, just like Bush played his part. Everyone's playing their part. The world leaders are playing their part. We have Carney playing his part in Canada, being the kind of the peacemaker, as it were. He's quite good at it so far. But I hear there's a steel rod in his spine, and not to underestimate him. Underestimate him at your own cost, I'm hearing. So this is perfect, isn't it? Live your soul, not your role. Right? So, given what we've been talking about, what do you think Mr. Trump's been doing? He's living his role as he thinks it is. Because he's basically a businessman. And not a very good one at that. And living a role is how he perceives the role of president to be. This all encompassing, I have all the power and I get to decide who I hire, who I listen to. He's not got very good counsel right now, and he's not got very experienced people that are advocating for him and giving him good advice. And he doesn't want to listen either. Haven't we all been there? Haven't we all been there? So, for us, live our soul, not the role. You may be a mother. That's your role. But your soul part may be wanting to experience being a mother for the first time. So, then you get to do both. That's kind of cool, right? That's cool. But think of that, the other thing. You're a small business owner. That's a role. And what would the soul be doing as a sole business owner? I don't know, perhaps learning about business. Perhaps learning how to go out on a limb. Perhaps following a dream. You get the picture? Yeah, you do. Okay. And one card from Healing with the Angels, because we can all use some healing from the spiritual, from that realm of energy. So think of it, you may not believe in angels, but think of it as an energy that wants to support us, wants to support our life and our living and the planet, right? For harmony. Again, we pulled this the other day, harmony. So when we are in harmony, when we harmonize, like, oh, okay, thank you, like a choir. Again, the same thing comes to mind, is that when a choir sings, do you remember this story, is that they're not all singing the same note at the same time, because they can't. They need to take a breath to continue on. So in this environment, in this place, that is what, as a collective, we're doing. Some people are stepping back, taking deep breaths, pausing, having a rest, going camping, hiking, visiting and having family picnics. And others are there at a protest with a sign. So all of it to create harmony. Because if we understand that we do what we can do when we can, and when we can't, we don't. There's no sense doing it if you can't. If you don't have the energy for it, it doesn't have the same impact. So, harmony. When everyone understands that, like a choir, think of a choir in one of those massive churches in Europe. The sound's amazing. And they sing, and it is, thank you, angelic. It fills the air. The sound fills the air, the harmony of it, and it actually vibrates. The frequency of that music just vibrates through everyone that's hearing it. Vibrates in your being. it's in the walls of the cathedrals, the energy. That's why you walk. Thank you. That's why you walk in there, and it feels sacred because it is. It it holds so much the frequency of prayers and songs of the songs of the prayers. How cool is that? So harmony. We as a collective are busy creating some harmony. And right now it's pretty jagged. Right? Pretty jagged. We haven't got to that choir, that level. Some choirs are like the children's. We're like a children's right now. We're like at a children's choir at a Christmas service in your local church. We're like a whatever. Yeah. But then you get someone that knows what to do with a group of children and gets 100 of them together and creates something pretty better, way better, right? And then the choirs that sing in these churches are at a level way beyond anything, you know. So they create a harmony. So think of that, these pockets of us doing our best, singing maybe off key and a little bit out of kilter, and then others have gotten better at it, and then the others that are like magnificent. And we stop in our tracks and we breathe it in. The harmony. We're going for harmony, guys. So go out there and do your best to be part of that harmony. That's all. Go for your joy. Linda from Go for the Joy on June 17th, halfway through the month. Okay, take care. Bye.